like if people sell your NFT, then you get a commission. They get the NFT, they're excited, and then you need to keep them engaged and keep them excited in your community.
Welcome to the Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast. Join host Marco Torres, co-founder of MarketingBoost.com, along with expert guests as they deliver incredible, proven solutions to your marketing challenges in each power-packed episode. Captain Marco has guided thousands of entrepreneurs, growing their sales and marketing through the use of value-add incentives. His Facebook groups are home to more than 84,000 entrepreneurs who are raking in sales with his advice. Get ready to be blown away with game-changing lessons for your business.
Welcome to another episode of the Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast. My name is Marco Torres, and today I've got a special guest. We're going to be talking about digital strategies with Web3, marketing for B2B success. And so if you're a B2B company looking to stay ahead of the competition, look no further, as we're going to be talking to Joeri Billast, founder of Efficado, specializing in digital strategies with Web3 marketing to help businesses like yours reach new heights. His Web3 marketing expertise includes the cutting-edge use of technologies like NFTs, the Metaverse, and a whole lot more. Say hello, Joeri.
Hi, Marco, and hi, everyone. I'm really excited to be on your show, Marco.
Well, thank you for being here again. Looking at your background here, you're a fractional CMO, and with Web3 marketing strategies, not something I've talked about previously with to our community. So I'm very interested in learning more about NFTs and Web3 marketing and the Metaverse. I know you're a best-selling author on Amazon and a public speaker. Tell us, how did you get into the world of Web 3.0 or Web3 marketing?
Yeah, Marco, that's an interesting story. Actually, I've arrived in the Web3 world because of my past. So in the past, I had a business analytics company, which were basically IT projects that I was doing for clients, better measuring, dashboarding, data mining, balance scorecarding, all of that. And this company I have sold now already 10 years ago. And then I started to do something else. And then I started into tech, into tools, then into marketing, into social media marketing. You are referring to my best-selling book that was about social media marketing. And at the same time, since my studies, I had an investment club. So I know about how the financial markets, how they work, how stocks work, and so on. And then I was at the Social Media Marketing World 2022. It's already 1 year ago in San Diego. And I was not expecting that, but I learned Web3. I met Michael Stelzner, who gave an NFT to everyone at Social Media Marketing World. I met Mark Schaefer, who was also starting a community in Web3. And so those things suddenly made sense, like my background, IT, marketing, finance, those things come together in Web3. And then because I met those people, I started being active and taking some initiatives.
Cool. That's a great, background on that. And, it's something that it seems to me, it's still a huge opportunity, not something that everybody's doing. So therefore, it probably opens up the doors for, incredible growth, and an opportunity to acquire, to experiment in that world and get new clients and be an innovator in that area. Tell us more. I mean, how do you go about getting involved in NFTs, or what would you suggest to business owners? What would be the first steps?
Yeah, first off, I would say, as you mentioned, it's always good to be early. It's harder, but when you're the first, it creates opportunities. Like imagine that you were the first at a time when the internet came and people are building websites. Everyone is wondering, why do I need a website? Social media came. People are wondering, why do I need to be on social media? Now it will be the face. Why do I need to use Web3 for my business? What about NFTs and so on? So yeah, Web3 is for me an umbrella term, which NFTs is a part of it. Metaverse is a part of it. Cryptocurrencies are also part of it, but it's just the way, how to make transactions on the blockchain within Web3. So maybe it's good for your audience that I explain a few of those terms. So the blockchain is like a chain of blocks, actually, that cannot be changed, where you put data on and everyone can see it. It's transparent. Everyone can see what is happening on the blockchain. Also, it's secure because it cannot be changed. So the blockchain is technology that, it's a really good technology. It will always be there. And then based on this technology, NFTs are actually, like, you can call them with an easier word, digital collectibles. They are non-fungible tokens. So what is the difference between a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, that probably everyone now heard of? A Bitcoin, if I give you a Bitcoin and you give me another Bitcoin back, it's fungible. It's the same. It's like a dollar. I give you a dollar, you give me another dollar back. It has the same value. But with an NFT, it's different. Every NFT is unique and can be a proof of something. An NFT can be, it can be an image, it can be a video, it can be even a PDF. It's actually a smart contract, if you want. So an NFT can be like a membership card. It can be like an access pass. It can be, for instance, an access pass or a membership card to your community. It could be an access pass to my mastermind. It could be an access pass to a mastermind or to a marketing event somewhere.
So it can function kind of like a password as well, that's unique to each individual that has one?
Indeed. So imagine now today, what happens is you go to Facebook, you have a login and a password. You go to LinkedIn, you have a login and a password. You go somewhere else, a login and a password. And every time, in the ideal world, you have another password, another login. But imagine that you have a digital identity with a unique username and a unique password that you can use everywhere, because those websites, decentralized websites, and in that case, they check if you have the right NFT in your wallet. And if you have the NFT, you get in. If not, you cannot get in. So that's how it would work.
That's pretty darn cool. So now, does that mean that's like a whole nother, a whole nother verification process? Because I can tell you what, I'm sick and I get so frustrated sometimes with passwords and remembering the password or looking it up, and the double verifications and emails and text messages where I'm locked out of different websites where I can't find my password. So is this like a whole nother process? You mentioned the NFT and a wallet. So I've got to have access to this wallet with the password for that before I can show my NFT.
Right. So the first step, so you asked if you want to enter the Web3 world, so then you need a wallet. But there are now websites where you can easily create a wallet. A wallet is like you have a website, you have an IP address. An IP address is a series of numbers of characters, but it's easy because they give you the domain name, the website name. With a wallet address, it's the same. It's also a complex series of characters, but you can create something like a digital identity, which is also like a domain name, but it's a Web3 domain name. Like in the Web2 world, my domain name is web3.net, but in the Web3 world, it's Yuri.nft, or it's CMO Stories.it. So those are different domain names. And so if people take one action from this show, this is that, and you can do that too, after you listen to it, that you go get your unique Web3 domain name and digital identity so that no one else can take it away from you. So I have Yuri.nft for life. So no one take it away from me. And so to continue on answering your question, so my Yuri.nft links back to a wallet address. So if now I go to a website, I connect my MetaMask, which is a way to connect with your wallet address. So I connect with my MetaMask, for instance, to make it the story a bit more interesting, to my penthouse in the Metaverse. I link to my wallet, my digital identity. I give my password. There are still passwords, Marco, but it's only one password.
Well, in this new world, you've got to get used to the passwords and figure out a good place to store them.
Yeah, because there is next to the password, you have the seed phrase, which you heard about probably. That's a series of words, but you need to keep the seed phrase. It's like a backup. If you lose your username and password, you can recover this with a seed phrase, but never give your seed phrase to anyone else because they can, get everything in your wallet. So.
Well, it's like similarly, I have the platform I'm logged in with Exodus. I don't know if you've heard of that, but that's where that's my wallet for all of my Bitcoin and Ethereum and so forth. So I would imagine this works similarly, where you've got to create
indeed
a very locked down access to your NFTs. And then so what's a good way? How would I start using them as a business? What would be the use cases that, for example, in my world, I've got members that use Marketing Boost. What would be your suggestion as a fractional CEO that you are? Before we go any further, tell us more about what that means. How do we hire you as a fractional CEO? And tell us more about what that means.
Yeah, so actually it's a fractional CMO, the M for marketing. So I do is I help businesses that don't want to hire a full-time director, but to get help with their marketing. Often they are tech scale-ups, they don't have these large budgets, but they want to have like my experience or experience from other fractional CMOs for a fraction of their time. So I'm available for them a fraction of my time, but they get, my brains if you want. And I'm focusing now on this Web3 world. So to those companies that are in Web3, often they are very technical and they need help for their marketing. Or other businesses, they are in Web2, but they just want to make the step to Web3 and they don't know who to trust or where to go to, or they need a guide. So I help those people. So it's like consulting for a fractional part of my time, if you want.
Exactly. And so consulting with me a little bit, kind of give me I know this is what you can't do in 10 minutes, but in other words, what would you, throw at me as I have a large community of members that are using our travel incentives to engage their clients to, with loyalty programs, et cetera. How would you suggest I implement Web3 either for my business or for my community? What ideas come to mind that I might consider trying?
Yeah, so what you can do my question would be to you, Marco, where is your community meeting? Do you have an online place where they meet each other?
Well, we have a Facebook group with about over 30,000 entrepreneurs in that group. And we do live events occasionally where we invite everybody to join us for a webinar or what have you. We provide content like you and I are doing right now on this podcast to the community. They all have login access to our Marketing Boost platform where they can send to their clients the various incentives.
Yeah. Right. So an NFT could be used in different ways. It could be like, as we already discussed, the access, instead of using a login and a password. It could be that you only have access if you have this NFT in your wallet. So you can only have access to the Marketing Boost. Facebook, of course, is a Web 2.0 company. So the data belongs to Facebook. If Facebook decides from one day on the other that, they delete your Facebook group or they delete your account or you cannot access anymore, then you lose it. That's a risk. That's the problem with Web2, with those big tech companies who hold all the data. And that's what Web3 wants to solve. Now, with Web3, there are not like Facebook communities in Web3. We have Discord communities, we have Telegram communities, but it's a bit less user-friendly than from Web2. So people need to adapt a bit. But once you get your community on one of the platforms that are not in the hands of one of those big players, you can use NFTs to, to organize the access to those communities, to a Discord community, for instance, to a Telegram community, and then you need to have your access pass. And you can have different tiers of access. For instance, I have a Discord community. People can just, if they verify themselves, they can have access. But if they hold my NFT, they can have access to another layer in the community. That's something I could do. Or to the mastermind, I could give them an NFT. You need to have this NFT to have access. And, NFTs are public. So if I choose that people can see which NFTs I hold, I can also hide them. But then people can see, okay, Yuri, you find me on the blockchain and you see he holds an NFT for CX, which is a marketing event by Joe Polizzi. I was there. I will be writing also a chapter in Joe's next book. I also hold Mark Schaefer's NFT. I've also written in his book. So there is, it's also like a certificate. If people go to Marketing Boost, Marco, and for instance, you have a course that you are giving, you could give people like an NFT as a proof that they followed your course. And then what you could do is, if people you can sell people NFTs, you can give NFTs away for free. What you could do is, for instance, in 1 year, you could say, okay, all those people that got my NFT, I give them another advantage or utility or access or something, an extra advantage. And you can do that because it's on the blockchain. You can easily verify that. So membership.
So can I go back and change access? For example, the NFT gave them access for 1 year or what have you. And then at the end of that year, can it be like automatically go back and change everybody who's expired or that type of thing? Or
so there are different. So there is a smart contract. The smart contract is the part that's on the blockchain, and mostly what you put in there is like if people sell your NFT, if you give them the possibility to sell, then you get a commission on that. So for instance, if it's an NFT that has a value, they sell it, you get, for instance, 10%, and you could put this in the smart contract. Now, other advantages, other utilities that you don't put in a smart contract, but you just define it, on a website, like for instance, my NFTs are on uncut.network, and I define the utilities over there, and that I can still change, or you can give extra. So I would advise not to put too much detail in the smart contract, but that you cannot change. It's better to give not so much, and then later on give more stuff or give. So then you add value actually, because people are often excited. They get the NFT, they're excited, and then you need to keep them engaged and keep them excited in your community.
Does it open up any new channels of communication? In other words, with that NFT, you're looking to, I guess, create outside of the typical. You mentioned Telegram, so you're still suggesting using some other or a private. There's multiple platforms out there that help you create a private community, either Telegram or others, or you can literally own the community, unlike Facebook, like you mentioned. Yeah. And then the NFT is access to it, but does it have any of its own sort of built-in community or communication platform, or you're still using email and text message?
Not yet. That's not there yet. It's just an NFT is on itself, like a smart contract. It doesn't have any. You still need to use a kind of software to make it work, a kind of community to link to the NFT, and there will be better, of course, versions of the current Discord that we have. There will be other companies that will come with something, and it will be more like a 2.5, I think, world than a 3.0 directly, because there is like the transition, and you will always, I think email will always be useful to have this. There will also be the basics of marketing will also still be valid. It's not because you have Web3, but Web3 has certain advantages that will help you organize everything and that you own your own data. And so what is possible in the new world of marketing, everything is a bit more anonymized, because you give your wallet address. If I don't use my own name as my digital identity, you wouldn't know that it is me. So you would still need to ask their email address. But if you don't have the email address, what you can do is you can do like a search and find everyone that has, like, for instance, your Boost NFT. And then I can find all those people that hold your Boost and NFT, and I could even target them, or you could target the people that have a certain NFT in their wallet. So there are ways to do that, but it's another kind of marketing, and it's, as you know, it's still very early to do that. But I am talking to companies that are building solutions around CRM, around analytics, around all the NFT world to make it more accessible and usable.
So tell us now about Metaverse. How big is the Metaverse community? We've heard a lot of talk about that over the years. I'm not sure how big acceptance and usage of Metaverse is going on, and how can you use that for business, or why should we care?
Yeah, so the Metaverse, it was the hype word. It was a hype before AI came, with ChatGPT and so on. So if ChatGPT hadn't come, probably you are still talking more and more about Metaverse. Facebook even changed their name. But now, okay, there is AI, which is a lot more people seem interested at this moment. But Metaverse companies are still building. And of course, Metaverse, it's a general word like the internet. There is no, one metaverse. There are different metaverses at this moment. For instance, I'm active in a few. There is the spatial metaverse, which is a metaverse that looks like a real world, but you use your avatar with either your real face or a face that looks like you or doesn't even look like you. And you can do meetings. For instance, I am in the RISE community, I'm in the GEM community. I have organized already mini TED Talks in the Metaverse, an AI art exhibition, panel discussions, stuff like that. And imagine 20, 30 people it feels like you are in the same room. And even more, if you use one of these VR headsets, then it feels like you are in the same room. And I am in meetings with people from the US, because I'm in Belgium, from the UK, from Italy, from everywhere, from Australia, from everywhere around the world. And it feels like you are together. Now,
it is pretty cool. I did participate as a guest speaker on a virtual Metaverse event, and there were all these different rooms. It was kind of like a real live conference. You could move your little avatar from one room to the other, and as you popped in, you could listen into that speaker, sit down at the table, and at the end of the show, chat. Turn on a one-on-one communications with different people in that room and or the guest speaker. So yeah, it was different. I really enjoyed that, as a matter of fact.
I was at a conference in the UK, and I did like a Metaverse event before Atomicon, and I did the table talks, around Web3 in the Metaverse, like I did them in San Diego in real life. There I did them in the Metaverse. I have been in Room 3D, which is also Metaverse, but there you are like on the round table with 15 other people, and you use your own face. And it's like Zoom, but the feeling is different because you can look around and you see these other people. And we were discussing AI actually on the last roundtable. So you have different possibilities with the Metaverse, which you can use. And for business, of course, it's still early. But for me, the networking that I've been doing, those TED Talks, those conferences I've been attending, the connection that you can make with people, it's a bit different if you feel immersed, in those metaverses comparing to what you feel on Zoom.
Cool. Well, hold that thought. We're going to come back and talk more about the Metaverse, more about Web3 when we hear from our sponsor. Give us just a moment.
It's time to wow, surprise, and impress your clients with the most powerful customer draw card available anywhere. The Marketing Boost Solutions Show is brought to you by Marketing Boost, where you can get valuable travel and restaurant incentives to drive your leads from prospects to paying customers. Now you can offer complimentary hotel stays in over 130 destinations worldwide. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com and try it for free right now.
Well, you just heard a little bit about Marketing Boost, folks. We are the wow, surprise, and delight factor, providing you with unlimited incentives, travel incentives you can give to your clients to create loyalty programs, lead generation, trade show giveaways. You name it, Marketing Boost. So Marketing Boost Solutions can provide you with incentives to help you acquire more clients and generate more leads, and maybe even figure out how to turn it into use them in the new Web3 world with Metaverse and NFTs, etc. We're back with Yuri, the expert on Web3, and let's get back to that conversation of where do you want to take it? I mean, where would you guide entrepreneurs like me and others that are in this world looking at Web3, not quite understanding it, wondering how would we use this to, to grow our business? And is it that big a opportunity yet, or is it time now, or not quite yet? How big is, and who is using Web3? What is the audience that's using Web3? Like if I'm, are there young people, or very young, or are they over in their 30s? What would you tell us about the demographics of who's using Web3?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, Marco. Actually, the metaverse, it's not new. It exists already. It comes from the gaming world. And of course, people that are gamers, most of them are the younger demographic. But still, lots of people are gaming, even, in their 30s or in their 40s. I already know people that are still gaming. So it comes from the gaming background. Also, Discord was used by gamers before. But now we see that actually in the events that I have been organizing, there are a lot of experienced entrepreneurs, experienced marketers that are in there that want to be ahead of the game. They want to understand what is working. Now, I use the term marketers because that's the communities that I'm in, and that's the people that I see in there. Like those people want to know how it is working. Now, what else is happening in the metaverse? Let me give you an example of the Metaverse Fashion Week in Decentraland, which is one of the metaverses. There you have big brands in those metaverses, like for instance, Boss. I was in one of the rooms, in the Boss room. I walked around in the room and I saw all these suits. And what could you do? You could buy, Marco, a digital suit, but you could also, buy the digital suit and have then the real suit also sent to you so that you have a digital twin. So for fashion is big on the metaverse. It's like the niche where most people are there from the fashion industry because there are a lot of opportunities. And for instance, I look at my kids, what are they doing? They ask me money to buy a skin, for instance, on Fortnite or on another game. So they buy with their money instead of going outside and going to the movies. They buy a skin for their avatar, and this is also happening in the metaverse with adults. Also, I had a lady on my own podcast who is selling clothes for avatars in the metaverse. But I guess the most sense it would make for people listening is to, if Nike also is in the metaverse, that you buy a pair of shoes that is really unique. You can put those shoes on your avatar and you can get them in real life so that you have like the NFTs, like the proof that you own these shoes, and you can put them on your avatar because everyone wants to be unique. And those avatars really look alike. But if you have something special, you stand out. And that's a business on itself in the metaverse. So fashion is one, also like concerts, events, that you can really feel a concert of a famous singer instead of being in a stadium, or a sports tournament, a soccer game, that you feel like you're in the stadium. Everything like that will come, and it's already there, but more and more people will want to experience those things.
Right. So it's obviously growing for the big brands. They're promoting themselves in that world, like the Nikes, et cetera.
Yeah.
And so, but for a smaller business, I guess the main thing would be to first get in that world and what's, participate in watching its development, so you can look for the opportunities to see how would I brand myself in this world? How would I use this community or this world of that's growing to find ways to, whether it be virtual meetings and which, like I experienced then as a guest speaker, that was a pretty good use of the platform that I saw, putting on these live events within the metaverse, and go from there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, what I've been doing, Marco, is, for instance, my theory is I have a penthouse in the metaverse. People can go to my penthouse. They can just, it's like a website. They just need to make an account. They do a login. You go to yuri.link/penthouse. When you go there, you can go to the penthouse and you can walk around in my penthouse. And then you see on the wall videos, links to my mastermind, NFTs that I have, all kinds of information about me. So my theory is that people spend more time in my penthouse walking around and looking at all these different things on the wall than they would do on my website, and they can go for my penthouse. If they click on a blog post, for instance, or on a podcast, they can either stay in the penthouse and watch the video or go to YouTube or to my website. So it's a combination of things.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. I'm trying to find the page here so that I could show it on the screen for those that are watching the.
Well, if you go to my website, then you will see there is a link penthouse normally in the menu on top. And
okay, let me share my screen to that, and we'll go through it together. So show the audience, if you happen to be on watching this as a video, I'm on his site.
You see virtual penthouse is there in the menu, the top menu.
First of all, let me point out to everybody, you can find his website at webdrie.net, webdrie.net, and see here Joeri Billast. And then let's go to the virtual penthouse link and take a glance at this. I was looking at this earlier and navigating my way around in here. And so it'll load up here in just a moment. Let's see.
Yeah, it's possible that it takes some more time as we are now recording. You are.
Yeah, so I chose an avatar, and then as I'm in here, I can see you're on the wall. As you pointed out, there's different links in here that you can click here and get to your page there, to your CMO stories. By the way, you've got a podcast here as well, the CMO Stories Web3 Marketing Podcast. I want to recommend everybody go listen to some of these and subscribe to that podcast. And so check out everything here about Joeri Billast on, let's get back to that web page. It was webdrie.net, webdrie.net. We're also going to mention that you've got a mastermind coming up sometime soon. Is that correct?
I have already started actually. Maybe it's good to update this page also, but it explains a bit what the mastermind is about. So it's a mastermind actually for those entrepreneurs that are interested in new technologies and want to grow their business with these new technologies. So we are, with people with similar goals, with similar problems. We are sharing our challenges and we are seeing how Web3 can help them, to solve the challenges and to create more growth.
Folks, we'll be right back when we talking with Joeri Billast about Web3. Let's take a moment to hear from our sponsor, Automation Booster, and we'll be right back.
Is your business on autopilot yet? Do you have automation in place to capture, nurture, and convert prospects into clients via email, SMS, ringless voicemails, appointment setting? Get all the inbound and outbound marketing tools in one place. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on automating your business so you can make money while you sleep.
Welcome back to the Marketing Boost Solutions podcast. So we're here talking with Joeri Billast about Web3, Metaverse, and NFTs, and how to implement those into your business for the future growth and being involved in being an early adapter in new technologies. I've been an internet marketer and an early adapter since 1996. I was involved in internet marketing in very early days. I was fortunate enough to be involved in a big company where the owner of the company was a visionary, a billionaire, and he kept saying back in 1994, he kept saying, the internet's the future. The internet, I want to be on the internet. Somebody on my marketing team, and I was director of marketing, and he was like, somebody on my marketing team better figure it out. And we spent, we back in those days, we were spending hundreds of thousands trying to figure out how to be successful on the internet. And it wasn't easy back then, but little by, and today there's never been a better time to be involved in my opinion, as an entrepreneur. The internet has evolved so much. The technologies are available, like Automation Booster that we just mentioned on that commercial. There's so much available, so many, technology available affordably to help you build your website, automate your communication systems, be able to, email, text message, voicemail broadcasting, be able to communicate with your clients easily and effectively with a platform like Automation Booster. If you're not using a CRM like that, you need to find something. We're not the only provider, but you better have something like that if you're going to be in today's world and expect to actually be in business. It takes money to make money. You do need to invest in building your knowledge. As I always like to say, stay thirsty, my friends. You need to keep learning constantly and keep adapting and being an early adapter of new technologies, which is why we're here talking to Yuri about Web3, NFTs, Metaverse. What else can you share with us, Yuri? Where do we go from here, and how do we learn and get involved in this new world of what we call Web3?
Yeah, so Marco, what I would advise, so I already mentioned create a wallet address, create a wallet. I have my own NFT store, which is on cmo-stories.uncut.network. And if you go there, then you can just, you click on one of my NFTs, you can create an account. It will ask you for a login and for a password, and there will be a wallet address created on the back end. So you will have a wallet address. If this wallet address, you send this to me, I'm happy to send you your first NFT for free. And so then you have your first NFT, and then I would encourage you to see what other NFTs are out there that either are free, so that you learn how they are working, or either they, it's a few dollars to get them. So then you are just investing a little bit to understand how everything is working. Don't go directly invest too much, but just try to understand how it is working with those NFTs. And then I would also encourage you to listen to podcasts, like, you have a really good podcast, Mark, where people can learn. I have also a podcast where people can learn from me about, and from my guests about Web3, the Metaverse, and so on. So if they go there, that's a good way to learn. You can also choose, if you are in a certain niche, to see what are the applications of Web3, NFTs, and the Metaverse in my niche. You can find them on podcasts. So yeah, that's my podcast. So it's www.cmo-stories.com. It's also on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcasts, on Spotify, everywhere. Actually, when you were on my show, Marco, at the time it was called CMO Stories, but then I deep dived in Web3, and now it's called Web3 CMO Stories. So listening to podcasts and also, reading the show notes, link to the podcast will help you buy some NFTs. Also, go check out some of the metaverses. I mentioned my penthouse on spatial, but there are also other metaverses out there. For instance, Decentraland is one, Room 3D is one. There are a few others. It really depends on the use case that you want, or the experience that you want to have. Do you want to use your own face, or do you want to be anonymous? Do you want to create an avatar? Now, one of the things I mentioned, Marco, that most of the metaverses, they are separate. So the problem is that if you create one avatar in one metaverse, and this will not be the avatar that you will be using in another one, because then you need to create a new avatar. So that's a current problem. So they need to solve that. But there is one, I would say, a partly solution. I use Ready Player Me avatars, which you also have now. You created a Ready Player Me avatar on spatial. Now, this avatar can be used in other metaverses that are integrating with Ready Player Me. And in that case, you look the same in those different metaverses.
Ready Play of Me?
Ready Player Me. So Ready Player Me.
Player.
Yeah, Ready Player Me. Yeah, and
one more time, what was the URL to sign up with your
NFT
wallet?
So my NFT platform is and it's CMO Stories, like my podcast, .uncut .network.
Network.
Yeah. And actually, at this moment, I have an NFT that people can get. So I have just released a book, which is called The Most Amazing Marketing Book Ever, with 35 other marketers. One of them is Mark Schaefer, who is one of the leading marketing experts in the world. Yes, that's the book. And here you see also my quote from my chapter. I've written the chapter around Web3 in that book, but there are also chapters around Instagram, around LinkedIn, around email marketing, around traditional marketing. And of course, you can find the book on Amazon. But I have a special offer. If people go to my site, you mentioned it, web3.net, there is an opportunity, amazing NFT, you find in the top menu, Marco. It's on top. It's on the right.
Amazing NFT?
NFT, yeah. So people can have this NFT, and instead of buying the book for, let's say, about $20, $30, they can buy the NFT and they get a lot more value out of that. And the NFT is on my marketplace. That's what I wanted to tell you. So if you scroll a bit down, they can either scan the QR code or they can click and they will go to the to my CMO Stories Uncut site. If you go a bit up, you click on it, yeah, and you see also the link. Then you will see this is my NFT, and you see it's in Ethereum, so the price can go up and can go down, of course. And there you see all the benefits, the utilities. So people, if they buy the NFT, they get a physical copy of the book, they get a physical copy of my former bestseller, they get one access to the mastermind, they get a 30-minute consultation with me, they get access to the community of all the people that get NFT. And they get an experience in the metaverse with me, and they get also a chance to be mentioned in my articles on LinkedIn around their experiences. So I think it's if you're interested in Web3 in the metaverse, it makes sense, this NFT. I just released it, as you see. There is one sold. I released it today, so people that are interested in, they can have it. By the time that this podcast is aired, we will see if it's still available. If not, you can reach out to me, and I might create another NFT for your listeners, Marco, if that makes sense.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, well, this will be broadcast within a few weeks, so hopefully it's still available. And if not, again, the idea being you were seeing real time here an example of how you could use this in your business. He's selling this NFT, which includes physical copies of certain books and all of these other benefits that come with holding the actual NFT image or secure platform.
Yeah,
got it.
You see, it's moving. It's not only a JPEG. So this is like a short video that I created, and we mentioned earlier in the podcast those benefits. If you use a platform like Uncut, you can define those benefits here on this website. So it's easy to manage them, and therefore I like to work with websites like that because I know the founder of Uncut, Carlos Diaz, also has been a guest on my podcast. I have been a few times with him already in touch. He has been on my mastermind. So I like to connect with people that I've spoken to because, it's like in the Web2 world, in the Web3 world, it's always good to know who are the people behind a company before you start to do stuff. And what I like about their solution is that you own what we call the smart contract. So I have my NFTs over there, But the smart contracts, I have it. So I can change website if I want. I can go to another platform. If you go to one of the other platforms that exist and you don't own the smart contract, then you are blocked, if you know what I mean. So that's one of the reasons that I work with Uncut.
Very cool, Joeri. I was going to get, your accent. Where are you from originally? I know you live in Belgium now, or at least you're coming to us from Belgium today. Where are you from?
I am from Belgium, but in Belgium we speak different languages. So my native language is Dutch, or Flemish, if you want. It's the difference between Flemish and Dutch. It's like the difference between UK English and US English. It's more like that. It's the same words, but it's different. And then my second language is French, because Dutch and French, that's the main languages in Belgium. And then there is also some German that I speak, because that's a third language in Belgium. And of course, I speak English because that's, the language that I use to communicate with my audience. So yeah, I have a mix of languages, of accents.
Which is amazing. Most of us over here in this country can barely speak English, but here we are with all these other languages. That's powerful. Joeri, it's been a pleasure to talk to you today, and really appreciate all of your knowledge. So not only do you speak 4 or 5 languages, you speak NFTs, you speak Web3, and the rest of us don't speak that either much. So we got to learn from experts like you. Folks, if you like the content we gave you today, please click the like button below. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with others. We would really appreciate that. And don't forget to look in the notes below. We've got the links to Joeri's website, the links to all of the things we've discussed on this show, so you can find the content that we were showing on the screen if you were watching this video. If you are on the podcast, the notes are also in that as well. Thank you so much, Joeri, for your time this morning. It's been a pleasure to talk to you about, the early adapting of new technologies to grow your business. It's been great. As I always like to say, guys, stay thirsty, my friends. You've got to continue to educate yourself, and go subscribe to Joeri's podcast immediately if you're looking to get involved in more of information on how to be involved in Web3. And one more time, his podcast was at, if I can pull it up here, Web3 CMO Stories podcast. Go Google that and you'll find that on your wherever you watch podcasts. Thank you again. Like, share, and subscribe, and we appreciate. Once again, Joeri, thank you for your time, and I'm going to go ahead and end the show. Thank you, folks. Thank you for your attention. Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast with your hosts, Captain Marco Torres. Now it's on you. Take the next step now. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on how you can wow, delight, and surprise your clients with the most amazing draw card on the planet. So stay thirsty, my friends. Stay thirsty for knowledge. See you next time.